I mean, this whole anti-capitalism thing, and it's great to be having the conversation here and now, but I mean, this is one of my concerns about the sort of like the generalized sort of like so-called vegan movement is that, you know, where are most vegans on the sort of like anti-capitalism, degrowth, etc. concept? And my feeling from talking to people, comments on Facebook, comments on YouTube, is that most vegans, like most people in society, are really nowhere. Most vegans don't really seem to want to think about the implications, and I know this is a bit sort of like overarching, but don't really seem to want to think about the implications of animal rights, animal liberation. They want to have their life as it is now, quite comfortable, jobs, you know, houses. There's nothing wrong with that. And they don't see how that is perhaps incompatible, supporting the current neoliberal paradigm, capitalism, they don't see how that's incompatible with animal liberation. And that's one of the reasons, I think, come back to the whole sort of like heroes thing, that they get upset when you challenge their heroes. Because if they start down that road of thinking for themselves and come to the same perhaps difficult and slightly uncomfortable conclusions that I certainly have, like how can we make this system work? Well, we can't, can we? If we actually want animal liberation, it's clearly, obviously, for the reasons that Ronnie's spoken about, you know, it's clearly not possible in this system, which is like consume everything for the wealth of billionaires, you know, like Jeffrey Bezos, his in the whole COVID thing, his billionaire, what did he get, an extra 40 billion pounds, dollars. It was like some colossal amount went up in his personal wealth, right? So that is just impossible to link that sort of a failed, that system, which is basically a necrophiliac system. It's totally predicated on destroying the environment, destroying all life, apart from the life of the billionaires, and turning us into a class of serfs behind our screens. So the challenge of trying to engage other vegans to sort of like see this not necessarily popular point of view is a fairly chunky one. And I think that's what I'd like to be seeing us talking about, you know, perhaps in future sort of, in future discussions, you know, because it is a struggle. There is a struggle, you know, when we talk about sort of like fighting oppressions, they're referred to as a struggle, not as a sort of like, you know, sitting around having cups of tea in your armchair, although that would really be nice if it was.
No, I think if we get people to go vegan, that's the huge challenge, yeah. So, like if everyone go, like if a mass of people go vegan, I think everything else will collapse. The politics and everything, governments and everything will kind of collapse. I know we'll have to be governed by some sort of government probably, but everything will collapse. It's a bit like the farmers. If we can get people to go vegan, the whole farming situation will change. Like I think we need to explain to people about the subsidies farmers get, the huge money they get in subsidies, and the huge money they get in grants for buildings and tractors and machinery and everything else. Like if we can get the message across to the ordinary Joe Soaps anywhere in the countryside or the cities everywhere. So I think everything will, like, it's amazing how things can collapse. It's just like COVID-19. I know it was an enormous thing, but the same thing can actually happen with farming and with governments left or right, wherever we are, you know.